What's poppin'? It's your boy Cho. We are back with another Crystal of Atlan banger, and today I want to go over enhancing. Everything you need to know about enhancing from start to finish. I'm coming from a perspective of somebody who has gotten plus 21, so I can talk about it. I'm going to talk about the costs. I'm going to talk about recommended strategies, and I'm going to talk about your approach when it comes to enhancing. I'm going to talk about doing it the most feasible way possible, in my opinion. All right, I'm gonna try to make this video as short as possible, though there's gonna be a lot of information. So, and keep in mind, this is for beginners, anybody coming into the game, anybody who's, you know, wanted a strategy, but can't seem to find one online. Well, here you go. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about enhancing in the perspective of somebody's a newer player and they're just coming in, right? And they want to start building their character up, which means that you're going to need to start enhancing, right? Now, this is my glaciette just starting, right? My approach for enhancing her is the same thing that I'm going to share with you guys, okay? So first of all, one really important thing, one super important thing. When you're leveling up in this game 1 to 60 for the first time, right? And so you're getting your character 1 to 60. You can, if you choose to, enhance freely, but you do not need to enhance at all to beat any part of the game. Just know that. The game is very easy to clear for most players, in my opinion. I haven't met somebody who's actually told me that the game itself, right, is hard in adventure mode. What I'm referring to is adventure mode. So everything in adventure mode is going to be relatively easily. Valley Runes, at a district, Wonderlands, all the way up to the, you know, elite version, all this stuff is really easy. You can get a lot done by clearing all this, but your first thing you're going to want to do is get to level 60, right? And then once you get to level 60, then you're going to want to farm Abyssal Purgatory. This is going to get you the gear that you need, okay? Now, the reason why I say that is because one strategy that you're going to use is, let's say you're using this piece of gear and you want to equip this one, okay? One thing to consider is that if you're going to try to enhance it, if you try to enhance using that piece of gear, I can't show you, darn it. Well, I'll just tell you. But if you try to enhance a level 60 gear using a level 55 piece, what's going to happen is the levels that are on that piece of gear is going to -1 when you try to equip this gear, right? Or enhance this gear. So that's major. That's not a little thing. That's a big thing. You know what I mean? Like, because when you're plus 12, that means that you're ready to stable catalyst up to 13, which I'll explain later. Getting to level 11 means that you need to put stable catalyst up to 12 and then to 13, or it means that you need to use a ticket. Either way, once you're at 12, you want to stay at 12 until you get to 15, and I'll explain why. Once you start enhancing your pieces, and let's say you craft, let's say I'm gonna take that same helmet, and let's say I'm going to upgrade this to Chariot, for example, which I do plan on doing on this character. Well, once you enhance it, or sorry, once you craft it using the Valiant Guard's helmet, the one you have equipped, the level 12 enhance that you have on this is going to stay and transfer to the Mighty Chariot. So it's okay if you have a helmet and then you level up the helmet. From there, you're going to keep the enhance. But if you try to swap, that's where it gets a little complicated. Even if I was to swap, let's say I decided to use this one and I have this one fully leveled up, and you try to use this as a material, it's going to be -1 once you transfer it over. It's just something to consider. Transferring over gear or using other gear to enhance, you want to be very careful with on the -1s. Now, one thing that you can do to save that is when you're enhancing, you can either do a flawed enhancement or a flawless enhancement. If you do a flawed one, it's going to take away the piece of gear that you're using to enhance, and then everything is going to transfer over to that piece of gear, -1. If you use a flawless, then it's actually going to keep the gear and give you the level for the gear. So a lot of people do flawless because, you know, you get to keep that level. One thing to notice is that it's going to cost an enhancement inherit stone. So this can undergo flawless inheritance. So this is the flawless inheritance that I was telling you about. You're gonna need one of these stones if you're transferring one gear to another one, but you want to keep the previous gear for whatever reason. Only reason why I would ever recommend keeping it is if you're trying to keep the enhancement level that you have. That's about it. I digress. So once you have your build good, right, we can start enhancing it and you'll start to look like this. You'll have everything at around like 12, 13. The number that I want you to look at is 12. 12 is the number that you want to start using your catalyst and your potent catalyst, okay? Be very strategic with how you use your catalyst and your potent catalyst. And I'm gonna try to share with you a few strategies that I use to help. It's gonna try to understand where I'm coming from. And then you'll, you know, because what I'm getting ready to say is gonna save you resources as you continue to enhance, okay? But never ever use catalysts on anything that is 12 and below, okay? Matter of fact, anything that is 15 and below, you don't want to use catalysts at all. Save every single one of your catalysts. The reason being is because you're gonna need stable catalysts, and you're gonna need stable catalysts to evolve literally, or to enhance literally all the pieces to your gear to level 15, and you're going to need a lot of them, okay? I don't even know the amount estimating that you're gonna need to enhance, you know, one piece of gear to 15, but trust me, you're going to need a lot of these, a lot of them. Even if they gave out a plus 15 ticket, you still have 10 other pieces of gear that need to get enhanced. So please, 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 do not spend any catalyst getting your gear to 15 and above, okay? What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna create stables, right? So just like this, create a stable catalyst. Now, the thing about this catalyst is, or let's look at the catalyst and what it does. So this one, it increases enhancement success rate by 1 to 5 times, up to 4%. So it's essentially telling you that it's gonna increase, like if something is 20%, it's gonna take it to 24% chance to increase. The stable catalyst, which is what we're looking at here, right here, is that it's the success rate is exactly the same. So 1.5 times up to 4%, right? But if the current gear's enhancement level is between 11 and 12, failure will not downgrade the enhancement level. So what that's telling you is once you hit that magic number 12, right, you're gonna use these to keep your 12 if your gear fails to enhance. So what does that mean? So when you're going here, right, let's say you are trying to enhance your talisman, okay? Well, I'm going to get rid of my camera so you guys can see it. As you can see, if you enhance this piece of gear, you have a 20% chance of success. Yeah, but that also means you have 80% chance of failure. So the chances of you to fail this is pretty high, okay? If you fail, then your enhancement level is going to -1. So that tells me that it's gonna go from 12 to 11, and there's an 80% chance that it's gonna go from 12 to 11. Well, the moment that you apply this on, gear will not downgrade upon failure. That is the key, okay? This means that it's still the same 24% if you were to have a catalyst, right? So your success rate with a catalyst is 24. Stable catalyst is still 24, but your gear will not downgrade upon failure. This is key, okay? You want your gear to stay at 12 if it fails. And you want to keep using these until it gets to 13, okay? Once your gear is at 13, okay? Hear me out on this one. Hear me out. You want to just enhance with no catalyst, none. Just enhance, take the 20%, okay? Some of you would say, use a potent catalyst. Some of you would also say, use a catalyst. Okay, here's my reason for not using either one of them, starting with the catalyst. Okay, what I just said is you need stable catalyst to increase every single one of your pieces of gear to 15 and above. And in this game, you're going to want to increase all of your gear to 15 and above. You don't have a choice once your weapon starts getting higher and higher and higher. Okay, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So because of that, you need all your stable catalysts that you're gonna get. Okay, and it's gonna take time because you're gonna need more. Once you have all your stable catalysts, you're gonna need even more than that. I've created scenarios where I've had 30, 40 to 50 stable catalysts, and I use them just to get like one piece of gear to level 15, and the other one is like stuck at 13 or stuck at 12 because, you know, it fails. 80% is a really high chance to fail. So that is why you do not want to use catalysts. Don't waste your catalysts if your goal is to get your gear from 12 to 15 as quickly as possible. You need as many of these as possible, and a lot of people waste catalysts where they don't need to. Okay, now once you get to 14, right, and I don't have any pieces at 14, I can't necessarily show you, but once you get to 14, then you can potent catalyst. Skip the catalyst and go straight for potent. If you want the increase rate, you know, 7% increase rate when going from 14 to 15, because it costs so many catalysts and a lot of luck to even get to 14. So the value to get to 15 here is humongous. Not to mention, once you're level 15, you can no longer decrease. Okay, that's the key thing. Getting all of your gear to 15 is huge, because once a piece of gear reaches 15, it can no longer go down from there. This enhancement level -1 upon failure feature is now gone from that piece of gear. It now is, your gear is now on a star system where you need a certain amount of stars to level up the piece of gear from there. So that is the only time I'm gonna recommend using a potent catalyst for gear under 15. If you do this, you will save a lot more potents. There's a lot of people that use potents on 13 and 14. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you're going to utilize all your potent catalysts. You're not gonna have any left. Okay, you really need to be conservative with your catalysts, because you don't want to raw dog your way to 15, because it's going to feel like you can't do it. It's going to feel like you're running out of resources, and the truth is you are running out of resources, but you're also using them, you know, where you shouldn't be using them, where it's not, you know, really benefited. So the reason why I say use no catalyst for 13 and 14 is because getting to 13, not that bad. It's not that bad. A few stable catalysts, you'll get there. You know what I mean? From 12 to 13. And then you can keep trying from 13 to 14. You're only gonna fail, you know, you can fail maximum 6 times before you get to 14 guaranteed, right? That's what they tell you. I have been on stream and I have failed more than 6 times. And I was like, wait, what is this? I don't know if I miscounted, whatever, but you know, I refuse to believe that there's a 6 mercy on this, you know, because it doesn't say it. But a lot of people believe that if you fail 6 times, you're guaranteed gonna enhance on the 7th try. So that's something to consider. That's another reason why you don't want to use catalyst here, especially if it's guaranteed to go to the next level eventually. So please, please, please save your catalyst. Use stables only. If you want a potent from 14 to 15, by all means, go for it. But trust me, the more catalysts you save, the faster you will get from 12 to 15. And listen to me, there are people that waste so many catalysts trying to get from 13 to 14, for example. Every time they use a catalyst to get here. Yeah, imagine wasting 50 catalysts to get from here to here on all of your gear. That's 50 stable catalysts you need to get from 12 to 13. That's a lot. That's too many. Please don't do it. Trust me. If you don't trust me, that's fine too. Do what you want to do. But I'm giving you a strat that has worked for me. Okay. Now I'm going to switch to my Mistrix so that I can continue with the strat. Give me 1 second. All right. So now I'm here on my Mistrix, right? So I'm here on my Mistrix so I can talk to you guys about 15 to 20. Okay. 15 to 20 works on a star system. Okay. So once you start getting your pieces of gear to once your piece of gear reaches 15, you then have to obtain a certain amount of stars before you can attempt to enhance it from 15 to 16 or 16 to 17. The way that it works is every star that you get, there's going to be a 20% chance for you to get a star, right? And then there is a 80% chance that you'll fail. When you fail, you lose all your stars and you have to gather those stars again. Now, does that suck? Absolutely. But the good thing is that you can't go from 15 to 14. So that's a good thing. You don't have to worry about the grind from 5 to 15. And I still think that the 12 to 15 is one of the worst grinds because of how many stable catalysts you need. Okay? Here, you can kind of brute force it with a lot of gold once you reach this level. But once you reach 12 or 12 to 15, once you're at 12, yeah, you can't brute force it. You can lose all your gold trying to enhance that thing because, yeah, you're gonna fail every time. So that part sucks. It is what it is. But once you get here, it does get a little bit better. Okay. So what is my strategy for 3 stars? Okay. In my opinion, 3 stars is not nearly as bad as, hold on, I shouldn't even say that. 3 stars is one of the smoothest enhancement processes. Getting gear from 15 to 18 is literally bliss. I love it because it doesn't cost that much gold in comparison to 4 stars, in comparison to 5 stars, and even in comparison to the strain from getting to from 12 to 15. I think once you get to 15, it gives you like a little breathing room, like, okay, I can finally enhance stuff again. You know what I mean? So why do I say that? Because when you get to 15, it's going to cost roughly 200,000 gold to enhance at that point. Okay. Here it costs 70,000, or here, let me turn off my camera again so you guys can see. So here it costs 70,000 gold and 130,000 enhancement fund, which means that, you know, total is 200,000 gold, right? This is for you. This is my enhancement strategy. Okay? And this is assuming that you already have all of your gear to 15 and you're no longer in like a, you know, a need for catalysts. So there's 2 strategies that I use. Let's say, let's go to my weapon. No, let's go here. Hold on. So let's say this is my weapon and I'm trying to get it from 15 to 18, right? Here's the thing about weapon, okay? Most likely when you're increasing your weapon, you still have gear that's under 15, okay? That is in most cases. And if you look, it's the same case for my Mistrix. My Mistrix is level 18 on the weapon and the rest of her gear is below 15 except for my talisman. So if that's the case, then what's going to be my strategy for continuously increasing my weapon? Now I've gotten my weapon to plus 18. What did I do to get there? Well, I literally just enhanced to get the first star. Okay. There's a 6 out of 6 mercy system that they show telling you that once you're 6 out of 6, so once you've failed 6 times, then the 7th attempt is guaranteed. Okay. That's what this means. So if you fail, it's guaranteed to hit on the next run. Okay. With that being said, you have to understand and put a cost to how much a star is on average. Okay. That's the way that I figure about what resources I'm going to spend and why. Why do I say that? Because is it worth to spend any resources to get your first star? Well, ask yourself this. If you knew something was going to cost you 1.2 million gold, it cost you 1.2 million gold, and all you needed to spend was a catalyst to get there, is that worth it to you? Right? And in most cases, the answer is no. You know what I mean? It's not going to be worth it. You're going to want to, I need that gold amount to increase in order for it to be worth it. Okay. Now, where am I getting that gold from? Blah, 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 blah. Right. So that was just 1.2 million, just a random number. Okay. But now let's start figuring out how much stuff costs. Now, the success rate is 20%. That's for all stars for the rest of the game. Right. It's not until you get to 3 stars to where the success rate will change, and it'll be a little bit lower until you get higher. Then it'll be a lot bit lower, right? I think it shows you right here, actually. Let me see if it'll show you. Yes. So see, so the current enhancement level to get from 15 to 16, yeah, on the first attempt, it's going to be 18 instead of 20. What this is saying is, once you have all 3 stars, so you've gotten all 3 stars, to get your gear from 15 to 16, meaning that you're enhancing it from 15 to 16, so 15 3 stars to 16, the percent is going to be 18. At plus 16, the first attempt, which means you have all 3 stars, the first attempt is going to be 16%. From enhancement level 17, it's going to be 14%. So all the enhancements all the way literally to plus 21, which is crazy. This is insane. So this is saying that once you're at plus 20, in order to enhance it to plus 21, after you gotten all your stars, your 4 or 5 stars, however you made it, it's going to be 10% to get it to 21. So what they're saying is that you're going to need some fail saves. We're not going to let you luck it out. That's why they lower the percent. Yeah, it gets even lower over here, right? Let's not even talk about this. But anyways, that's important to know because it helps you with the strategy, right? So now let's talk about the actual strategy and the gold saved and all that stuff. Okay. It's 200,000 to push the amplify button. Push this button, right? It's 200,000 gold, okay? Whether it's gold or whether it's gold enhancement funds, that's the value of it, okay? You have a 20% success rate, which literally means that if you have 5 chances to hit something, right, at a 20% success rate, so let's say you take 5 attempts and you bought 5 attempts, how many of those are expected to hit, right? Well, the answer is 1. 1 out of every 5 hits that you buy, you're expected to hit at least once. Is it guaranteed? No, because we're talking about a success rate, which means sometimes it could be lower, sometimes it could be higher. You can fail 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times in a row. You can hit 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row, right? That is a fact, okay? But the 20% success rate is certain. So that's the only certainty that you have to work with, that when you're trying to get a star, you got a 20% success rate. But what that means is that you should expect to fail 4 times until you finally get a star. That is the value of a star. You see what I'm saying? If you want to value a star, then you value it with the expected success rate. And that's the only way to get a value on a star that makes any sort of sense, okay? Any other way to value it really doesn't make sense. If you're trying to say, oh, but you can use potent catalyst and that increases the percent and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if you're the person that uses potent catalyst at 1, 2, and 3 stars, then you're not somebody who's being feasible, okay? I'm talking to all players that are looking for a way to be feasible, okay? Feasible meaning that you don't have to spend a ton of crystals, which equates to a ton of gold, which equates to a ton of money. You want an actual strategy that can work for you and that's based on some sort of statistical truth, okay? That's the goal here. So if you fail 4 times, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're expected to hit on the 5th, okay? That means 5 attempts is what you're looking for to get a star, okay? like I said, it's gonna fail 6 out of 6. Don't be surprised when it does, but just know when it starts to get to that 4, 5, 6 zone, it's gonna hit at some point, right? At 6, it's gonna hit guaranteed, and then the 7th is gonna be guaranteed to hit. So anyways, I have my calculator here, just so you know, I'm gonna do some math with you guys, right? So at levels at 16, right? The value of a star is 1 million gold, okay? So you can expect to spend 1 million gold when getting your first star, okay? But when getting your second star, okay, here's the kicker. Let's say you try to get your second star, right? So let's say you try to get this right here and it fails. You're gonna lose all stars. If it fails at any point, you lose all stars. If it fails trying to get from 16 to 17, you lose all stars. You gotta start over. So the value of the second star has to include the value of the first star times another 5, okay? So that means that the value of the second star is gonna be 5 million gold in this case, okay? Which means that the value of the third star is going to be 40 million gold, okay? What am I saying? What I'm saying is that to get a piece of gear from 16 to 17, right? On average, just to get these 3 stars, it's gonna run you about 40 million gold on average. So if every player was to lump up their luck, right? It's gonna cost you about this much gold. Now, if you have enhancement funds, this is still not that bad per se, because enhancement funds covers roughly double your cost in what you're putting in. So you're putting in 70,000. Well, the enhancement is gonna be 130. So if you need to spend 40 million gold, that means you probably only need to spend roughly about 14 million. You probably only need to put about 14 million, and the enhancement funds will cover roughly about 26 million of it. You know what I mean? That's just me doing that math in my head, right? Now, I'm going to speak from now on as if you don't have enhancement funds. So we're just talking about gold, okay? Then you have to factor the getting to 16 to 17. You have to factor that in too. So going back to the enhancement, it's a little bit different than the 20%, because as you get closer to the attempt 7, right, your percent gets a lot higher. So at, you know, you're at 50%, you know, on attempt 6. So the actual chances that you'll be fail-safe 6, right, is a lot lower than actually 6 out of 6 on stars, because of this percent, because of the 40, because of the 30, right? So then there's just the value on the stars that we're talking about, okay? So once you have the stars, and there's no other like thing, you could just enhance it, and then that's what it comes out to be. You either got it or you don't, okay? Now, if you're enhancing all the way through, okay, you want to literally power all the way to 3 stars. You don't want to use no catalyst at all on 3 stars. Trust, I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but this is also assuming that you're in the same position I'm in, right? And you need your catalyst. Hello, you need your catalyst, okay? You're gonna need a lot of catalysts to get your pieces of gear from 13 to 15. I digress. That is going to be super duper 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 important, okay? So because of that, you are trying to get from one, literally 3 stars. You don't want to use any catalyst powering through. You want to go 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and then once you get 3 stars, you want a potent catalyst from 16 to 17. Okay, and when you're at 15, you want a 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and then you want a potent catalyst from 16 to 17. Now, why do you want a potent catalyst? You want a potent catalyst because you're trying to preserve the on average 40 million spent to get to the point where you have 3 stars. Do you understand that in order to get 3 stars, it's gonna run you on average 40 million gold? So if you can stop yourself from having to do this process again, if the 7% potent catalyst would help you get there, then that's what you want to do. You want to get there. So you want to, because if you could save yourself 40 million gold, you want to do that. 40 million gold's a lot. Okay. If you knew that something's going to save you 40 million, would you choose it? Like if that 7% was going to put you over the hump, would you use it at that point? And almost every player would be like, yeah, run me my 40 million. What do you mean? That's an easy decision. That's why you're doing this. Okay. Now, you have the other option to use a 3-star potent catalyst. Let me explain that and what it means. Okay. Now, I've had different opinions about this. I'm going to share with you my current opinion now. My opinions haven't really changed, but the value of these have changed a little bit. So allow me to explain. Okay. So the 3-star amplification catalyst means that if you have 10 potent catalysts, you can combine 10 potent catalysts to create a 3-star amplification catalyst. This is saying that to get your 3rd star, which is only works on 3rd stars, 3-star amplification catalyst only works on getting your final star, right? Think about how much your final star cost. On average, it costs 40 million gold to get your 3rd star. We've already calculated that, right? On average. For some players, when you're actually in practice, it's gonna cost less. For some, it's gonna cost more. Anybody will tell you that if they ever 6 out of 6 to 1st, 2nd, and 3rd star, it costs them a lot of gold, very frustrating, and it's almost quit the game worthy. It is so terrible when it happens. Could it happen to you? Yes. Has it happened to me? Yes. Do you want to consider that when, you know, getting the 3-star amplification catalyst? Absolutely. Anything that saves you gold, you want to do it. Now, is it worth? Well, I'm gonna give you reasons why I think it is, and I'm gonna give you reasons why I think maybe not. So if you're just up and coming, right? Is it worth it to get a 3-star catalyst so that you can guarantee that 3rd star? Well, ask yourself this. Is 40 million gold worth 10 potent catalysts? That's what you really need to ask yourself. You know what I mean? How do you value these numbers? Well, there's a way to do it in this game. So let's do it. I'm gonna bring my cam back up. So let's do it. So how much value is potent catalyst? Well, the game tells you that a potent catalyst is worth 800 crystal, right? Why? Because for 800 crystal, you can buy one right there. Boom. 800 crystals worth 1 catalyst. Okay. Now, what about gold? Can you convert gold to crystals? Yes, you can. Let's see how much it is right now as we speak. Okay. As of right now, to get 800 opal, you would need roughly, if you were selling gold right now, I think the way that you would want to do it is you want to sell it in 10 million bulk, and you can get 1,200. If you was to sell 10 million gold at 1,200, somebody would buy it right now. A couple. Okay. Now, I've seen gold average out at 13, 14, sometimes 15. So the value of gold changes just like it does in the real world. But for the sake of this video, I did not look up the price beforehand. I'm gonna do it on the current price. And the current price is 1,200 gold. If you did it at 5 or 1 million increments, it'd be even less. Because in order for it to be equivalent to 1,200, you would need this to be 120. You would need this to be 600, and it's not. So let's not even do it there. We're gonna do 1,200 because this is the most, how you make the most out of your gold. If I sold 30 million gold, I would expect about, 3,600 opal, right? Now, let's act as if you're selling 2 of these, okay? You would get 24, you get 2,400 opal, okay? So what does that say? 20 million gold equals 2,400 opal, okay? That's 20 million gold. Keep that down in your mental. 20 million gold equals 2,400 opal. Now, how many potent catalysts can you get with 2,400 opal? Well, with 2,400 opal, you can get 3. Okay, 3. Now, how does that scale up? Okay, if 20 million gold is worth 3 potent catalysts, right? That's the opal conversion, right? So we're saying that 20 million gold is worth 3 potent catalysts because they're both equal to 2400 opal. Okay, so 20 million gold is equal to 3 potent catalysts. That means that 40 million gold is equal to 6 potent catalysts, which means 60 million gold is equal to 9 potent catalysts. So if that is the case, then the question becomes, is 10 potent catalysts worth 40 million gold? The answer is no, right? 10 potent catalysts is worth more than 60 million gold. It's not worth 40 million, right? So value-wise, it is not worth this. You don't want to get them. Value-wise, okay? Why would you get this? To save 40 million gold. There's a lot of events that give you potent catalysts, right? And don't get me wrong, potent catalysts are things that we want. Let's look at my character right now. I just enhanced not too long ago. Do I have any potent catalysts? No, I don't. So potent catalyst is, you know, is really tough to come, but sometimes during resets and events, you end up having a lot of them, 10, 20, even 30 of them. If you go to my main character, my character has like 35 of them. So it's like, if you have it, is it worth spending something that is worth a little more than 60 million gold to attempt to save you 40 million gold? Yes. Here's why I say that. Because gold is something that if you can save, you want to save, right? If you can, now I'm gonna premise this on a few things, okay? If you're enhancing this, right, and you get your 2nd star and you're attempting to get your 3rd star, listen to me when I say this, okay? If you are getting your 3rd star and you are 0 out of 6, the 0 out of 6 is the condition that you want to set for yourself when using their 4-star or 3-star catalyst, okay? That is the condition, okay? If you are 1 out of 6, do you want to use a 3? No, you don't. Every single time you're 1 out of 6, you're 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6, every single time you add to this number and you use a 3-star catalyst, you are lowering the value of the 3-star catalyst. The 3-star catalyst is meant to save you. The value is based on how many attempts, okay? So if you use 2 attempts, then on the average, you're only saving 2 attempts instead of 4, okay? And the attempts is what you want to save when using 3-star catalyst, okay? That is why I'm not saying that if you use a 3-star catalyst, you're gonna save, it's gonna guarantee get to from 16 to 17. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the value in the 3-star catalyst comes if you were to use it 0 to 6 and then it enhances to 16 to 17, or if it doesn't. That's the value that you want. But do you want to do it if you already have some at 3 out of 16? No, because the chances of you getting this star is a lot higher than if you were 0 out of 6, okay? Listen to this argument, okay? If you are, do I have gold? No, I'm broke. I will show you. I'll show you. I'll show you a lot better than I can tell you. I am enhancing boots, okay? Spell save 3, okay? I currently have something to enhance it with, so let's enhance it. What are the chances that I'm gonna get the 1st star here on the 1st attempt? I'm gonna tell you that it's probably guaranteed gonna fail, okay? Can we agree that that is normal? Okay, that is normal. As you get closer to later attempts, your chance to enhance. Let me premise this by saying this. What's the chances that it'll hit on the 2nd attempt, right? It's not any higher It's still 20%, but it is higher if you consider the fact that you've already used a single attempt. I could show you this mathematically, but that would be long, right? If you've taken statistics or you've taken you know, any sort of any of the calculus classes, then you understand what I'm saying. When you if you're just looking at single attempts, then each attempt is going to be 20%. If you look at the combined attempts, meaning I have 5, let's say I bought 5 attempts. Let's say I bought 5 tickets, okay? What are the chances of me hitting out of one of those tickets? It's a lot. That's gonna be a little bit higher than if I buy 1 ticket, then I buy another 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 ticket, okay? Especially if you know one of them is gonna hit, which it will on the 7th attempt. You see what I'm saying? So because of that, what are the chances that it'll hit 1 out of 6, right? Still 20%, but it could hit. Do you see what I'm saying? So because of that fact, okay, because of that fact alone, 0 out of 6 is the highest value you can use a 3-star catalyst. Because if you use it at 1 out of 6 or higher, you're taking away value from the 3-star catalyst, because the chances of it hitting are the lowest chance is absolutely 0 out of 6. Absolutely. Does that mean that it will never happen? No, there's a 20% chance, which means that it'll happen 1 out of every 5 times statistically. But the chances that, you know, you want to gain the most value out of when you're spending stuff. If you know that you're gaining more value when you do stuff, you'd probably do it, right? Here, just for sake of, you know, the stream, let's do 5 out of 6. Let's do it. Yeah. You see how I'm 2 out of 6 here? Would I ever use a 3-star catalyst? Hell no. Hell no. I would never do it on 2 out of 6 because I'm losing so much value doing that. There's no reason for me to do that. It's terrible. Now, would I use a catalyst here? Absolutely. But let me explain why, okay? Boom. And it all failed, all goes down, okay? That's the way that it works. When your enhancement fails, you lose all your stars, okay? Now, why would I not use a catalyst? Or why am I saying that I use a catalyst when I just said I wasn't? On this character, all of my gear is over 15. I don't need catalysts like I do on my side characters. I honestly wish it would let me transfer because I have so many catalysts on this character. I have 116, right? And I have this many because I started using, you know, stuff a little more fruitfully when I do it. But yeah, you hold on to these. You never know when it's gonna say, hey, the game's gonna be like, hey, you can share your catalyst. We're just gonna change it. And I'm like, what? Bro, I'm transferring all these to my side characters so fast because they need them. My main character doesn't need these as badly. You know what I mean? Stable catalyst is so necessary to level up your character. So that's why I say what I say. Once you have all your gear, then you can start using your catalyst to enhance stuff. And where do you want to use it? Well, typically, I would say it's on the 3rd star. Typically on the 3rd star is where you want to use it, right? I just got a 0 out of 6. Kind of crazy. Oh my God. Look at the luck. This star right here is where you want to use it. Now, where did that luck just come from? I don't know. Don't ask me. Hey, maybe Glenn's being nice right now. Oh my God. Bro, give me the plus 18. Do it for the video. Do it for the video. Oh my God, Glenn. And just like that, chat. Just like that. That's how you do it. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty awesome. Good job, Glenn. Good job. So, if you notice, I just got to 18, right? Now, there's a star already here. Why did that happen? Why is there more stars? Blah, blah, blah. This leads to more questions. Why is there new material? It costs a little bit more gold. Why? Well, let's go over all this stuff, right? Let's go over all this stuff. So do we all have it clear that to enhance your gear from 12 to 15, you want to use stable catalyst to get to 13, right? So you use stable catalyst when you're 12 trying to get to 13. You don't want to use any catalyst from 13 to 14, and you want to use stable catalyst from 14 to 15. We all have that clear. If we have that clear, then we can move on to 15 and higher, and we can start talking about, just enhancing further. Okay. I won't go back to my Mystrix. I'll stay on my main then. Okay. So we talked about the star system. We talked about the rates. We talked about how the rates change. Let's talk about value some more. Okay. Now, when all your gear is 15 and above, right? How do you want to approach enhancing? Well, the game kind of does it for you, right? Once you get your weapon to a certain height, it's going to demand that your codex is a certain level before you can enhance further, right? So for me, in order to get to 21 to 22, right? I don't know if it says it here. Does it say it here? It doesn't say it here. It's not going to say it till you have all the stars, but it's going to tell you that you got to have a certain amount of thing in your codex in order to reach further. So let me see if it says it here. I doubt it will, but let's just double check it. It does. So the required resonant levels for each enhancement. So in order to get from plus 18 to plus 19, your relic resonance needs to be 150. 19 to 20, 170. 20 to 21, 190. 21 to 22, 200. 22 to 23, 210. 23 to 24, 220. 24, 25, 230. What does this mean, and how does this apply to you? Well, let's say your weapon is plus 21, because mine is right now, right? And I want to get to plus 22. That means my relic resonance needs to be 200, okay? Well, my relic resonance is only 192. That's what this is. This is the current resonance on your relic, okay? This is a relic, right? So your relic resonance level, okay, needs to be 200 in order for me to get my weapon at 20, 21 to 22. This means that if I even want to consider enhancing this, I need to increase my relic resonance level. How do you increase your relic resonance level? You do it by increasing any piece of gear by 1 level, increases your relic resonance by 1 level. So I was at 191 when I increased my boots to level 18. I went from 17 to 18, which took my relic resonance from 191 to 192. Okay, that is what that means. So what that's telling you is that the game is saying, hey, you got your weapon high, you need to get your other pieces of gear higher in order to continue enhancing your weapon. That's literally what the game is telling you. The game's telling you, I need you to enhance other shit before you can enhance your weapon. We're not gonna let you just focus on your weapon all day. So that's what that's telling you. Why does it do that? Well, because your weapon gives you the biggest shred increase, right? Magic and defense shred. This is the most OP stat in the game, in my opinion. This stat is absolutely ridiculous. And when you enhance a weapon just by 1 level, from 21 to 22, let's check. Blade is 22, right? There we go. As you can see, he's plus 22 and I'm plus 21. Yeah, his weapon has 1100 more shred than mine. That's way better. This is like, it's the biggest shred increase that you can get in the game, right? There's nothing else that you can improve upon that'll increase your shred this much, except for leveling up your weapon from 21 to 22, or from 22 to 23, 23, 24, 18, 19, 19, 20. So it's the game is saying is that this is by far the most important enhancement, but you got to enhance your other stuff too. So with that being said, the game tells you kind of how to approach enhancing. Now, what you enhance is up to you. If you can let me give you a recommendation, I say focus on your talisman, okay? Focus on your seal, focus on your legs, focus on your hands, focus on your helmet, because these are also pieces of gear that add shred. So the shred, hands give you shred, feet give you shred, talisman gives you shred, steel gives you shred, okay? Like I said, shred is the most important stat in the game when it comes to damage, right? And by the way, this is if we're talking damage, okay? If you're talking in a different perspective, it's gonna be a little bit different from you. But I'm speaking to most of the population in Crystal of Atlan, and most of the population is damage, right? There's no tanks in Crystal of Atlan. Even if you're Berserker, you still want damage. So yes, increasing these will have a big impact on your damage because it increases your overall shred. So it's definitely the direction you want to go when it comes to enhancing. Now, that's the first thing that I would do. The second thing I would do is resources, okay? You just saw me level up my shoes from 17 to 18. And you just saw that it wasn't that bad when it comes to enhancing if you consider how much gold. What, 40 million for 3 stars, right? Yeah, I have 40 million now, which means that if I was to enhance my gloves from 17 to 18, I'd be able to pull it off right now, especially because I haven't, wait, no. I don't have enhancement points, but I'd be able to pull it off right now. I would at least get 3 stars to enhance my gloves if I was to do it right now. I'm certain that I can get there with 40 million gold, even more certain I can get there with 50 million. Am I gonna do it right now? No, but yeah, there's a resource aspect. So getting anything from 18 to 19, and let's go to my boots since I just enhanced it in front of you guys, right? So the stars changed, the materials changed. What does this mean? Okay, this is literally like 5 times the amount of gold that this is in value. You know what I'm saying? Like actually like 10 times if you're, well, let's go to the market and see, right? What's this? I sold my 5 insignia. Okay, so let's go to the market. So as of right now, advanced spare parts, you can buy these for 1,500. Do you want to buy these for 1,500? I honestly say no. You want to wait until they're 1,000. You can find them at 1,000 pretty often. Right now, somebody just enhanced, I guess, and bought up like a shit ton of the material. So yeah, buying these might be a little bit much right now. Right now, there's currently 133 parts. So these will go pretty quickly, but give it like a day or two and you'll find these back at 1,000, right? But these right now, these are 10,000. Now, there's a lot of these at 10,000. So right now, these are the value, but sometimes they can shoot up to 20,000 real quick. It only takes somebody trying to get from 20 to 21 who needs rare spare parts, and they'll end up buying all these, literally all of them, because you need a lot of rare spare parts in order to enhance your equipment from 20 to 21. And then if you're somebody who has all your equipment 18 plus, yeah, you're gonna need a lot of these just to enhance anything, if you want to enhance anything further. So what about cost? Yeah. So for a stack, you know, for 999 of these, I'll just go to one to show you. Yeah, 10 million, right? In comparison to this, if I find a stack of these, 2.3 million. And that's even at the high 2,300 price. Really, you could buy a stack of these for 1 million. That's how much it should cost because these are usually 1,000 gold. So yeah, something is literally 10 times the amount in value as this part. Yeah, to enhance is kind of nutty. You're gonna be urged to sell your rare spare parts because of the amount that you're getting. Yeah, I urge you to hang on to them. Hang on to them. Don't sell them unless you're gonna do it strategically. That's a whole nother video. I do have a strategy that I like to use. Like I said, that's a whole nother video, okay? Whole nother video. If you're doing it strategically, nod my head, I see you, you see me. But otherwise, don't just sell your, like if you were going to auction house and says, man, I need 10 million, let me go ahead and sell some of these gates. No, it's a really bad idea. Really bad idea. Will they sell? Yes. People will be happy to buy them. Yeah, listen to what I'm saying. People will be happy to buy them. There's a reason for that, okay? So just, you know, yeah, hold on to your money. Anyways, so because of that, to enhance these boots at 18 there's a major difference between 17 and 18, okay? It's not just the value of the stars, but it's the value of the parts too. Now, let's say, here's another thing that I want you to look at, okay? To enhance something at 17, costs 208. To enhance something at 18, costs 216. So the price of each tap is increasing the higher the level you are. 16 is 200,000. So it keeps hiring and increasing every time you go higher. Now look at my weapon. Yeah, 350,000 to tap. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of insane how the price keeps going up every time you tap. Now, I don't know if it shares with you costs. Let me see if it does. This is just me checking. So it doesn't share the actual, like, how much it costs to enhance a piece of gear, but just know one thing to consider is that the price of each tap, it goes up, which therefore increases the value of a star immensely. For example, the first star is, you know, it's 216. It's still valued a little bit above 5. Hold on. The first star here is valued at 1 million. Okay. Here is going to be valued a little over 1 million because, you know, there's 1,600,000 gold unaccounted for. This is going to be valued at, you know, 80,000 more, right? So it's 1,080,000 as opposed to this one, which is just 1 million. This one, this first star, let me grab my handy dandy calculator. Yeah, this one is valued at 1.75 million, damn near double, because each tap is damn near double. This is almost 400 million gold, and to tap here is 200 million gold. So each star is going to be, the value is going to be crazy. Now, a lot of you are asking, like, how come you don't go to plus 22? Yeah, because the value of one star is 1.75 million gold. The value of the second star is 8.7 million gold. The value of the third star is literally 43 million gold. The value of the fourth star is literally 218 million gold. And the value of the fifth star is 1.1 billion gold. And then you got enhanced from there, which means the value of plus 22, if you were to fail safe it, let's say 4 times, which is a little bit higher, lower than the 5 times, it's gonna run you about 4.3 billion gold. Yeah, I have 50 million. So no, I'm not trying to go for this. I don't have the gold for that. I don't have 4 billion gold to be enhancing something to plus 22. Could I get lucky? Yeah, just to be very clear, you can get lucky and this can only cost you about 2 million gold if you can just power your way through. Yeah, this asshole, yeah, he don't let me, he picks and chooses. There's like 10 people in his VIP club and everybody else can eat a dick. So I'm not gonna trust in that. Just know the expected value of stuff and enhance accordingly. You know what I mean? Now let's talk about strategies. So you saw my strategies for something that's level 16, level 17, right? I power through the first 2. I guess I could show you. So I powered through the first 10. Okay. So I just got that in 8 taps, right? So 8 taps cost me about, what was that? 1.6 million? Not bad at all. Not bad at all for my first 2, right? Yeah. Some of you are saying, well, it just cost you 1.6 for the first 2 stars, but you said the second star is worth 4 point something. Yeah. Sometimes it took 40 taps to get the first 2 stars. So like I said, it averages out. Okay. Please remember averaging, it averages out. Okay. I'm talking about expected, not realistic. You know, you could have terrible luck. You can have great luck. It just depends. But anyways, on the 3rd star, you want to use a catalyst. And on the 4th attempt, which is to get it from 16 to 17, you want to switch to potent. That's how you want to do it. Okay. That to me that's been very efficient, and you can still like hang on to all your materials. Like you'll still have plenty of potent, plenty of catalyst, you know, even after the fact. That's the good thing. So here I use catalyst, and it failed. And then from that point on, I use potent, right? When it's 3 stars. Not here. Here, I just go, you know, raw dog first 2, catalyst 3rd, potent 4th. Now, what about when something is plus 18, okay? At this point, I like to do power 2. So raw dog first 2, right? After you raw dog the first 2, you do a regular catalyst on the 3rd, okay? Why? Because it has value. The 3rd star has value. It doesn't have as much as the 4th, right? Like, let's do the value of this star. So it's costing 216 times 5. So the first value is 1 million. The value of the 2nd star is 5 million. Yeah, the value of the 3rd star is 27 million. Well, a catalyst will help me get this and secure this. That'll be perfect. Yeah, the value of this 3rd star, or sorry, this 4th star is 135 million. So because of that, you want to potent catalyst the 4th star. And then you also want to potent catalyst the 5th star, okay? But now that begs the question, what about the 4-star catalyst amp? And I'm going to bring you back to value. Is the 4-star amp catalyst worth 135 million gold? Let's go back to what we know, okay? What we know is 3 catalysts is worth 20 million gold. That's what we determined before, okay? So how many catalysts? I can get one, by the way. I can get 3 of them. So how many catalysts? We're gonna need 40 catalysts. I repeat, 40 catalysts to make 1 amplification, 4-star amplification. 40 potent catalysts, okay? As you know, 40 potent catalysts, if 3 is equal to 20 million gold, right? 3 times 13 is 39, right? So what's 20 million gold times 13? So 39 potent catalysts, which is almost this, is equal to 260 million. So is 40 potent catalysts worth the gold of a 4-star? That's the question. Remember, 260 million is what 39 potent catalysts are valued at, okay? No, it's not, right? So if 2216000 times 5 for the second one, times 5 for the 3rd one, times 5 for the 4th one. So the value of the 4-star is 135 million gold, okay? Yeah, the value of 40 potent catalysts is a lot more, okay? It's almost double, right? Almost double. But if you have the resources, if you have the potent catalyst, is it worth 135 million gold? Possibly. I would even say yes. Is it something that I did? Yes. Did I level up my weapon because of it? I think I missed one and then I hit the next one, which it made me feel like it was worth it because I don't have 135 million gold on standby. I just don't. So because of that, I had the potent catalysts. I was saving them, right? And it gave me a great use for the potent catalyst aside from wishing upon a star. Would I do that now? No, I wouldn't, because me understanding the value or getting my weapon from 19 to 20, that was really, really, really important. So I was okay using the potent catalyst to do that. Doing it for my boots, it's not as important. So I'll just slowly grind this. I don't have a problem with that. If you're using a potent catalyst here, then the success rate would go from 20 to 27. And 27% is a lot higher than 20. It literally changes the math from 1 out of every 5 to 1 out of every 4. And I do see that when you use potent catalysts, like my success rate on the 4th and 5th stars are a lot better than trying to get my 3rd star. You guys have seen it in my videos, me trying to get my 3rd star. Man, this thing fails a lot, but I'm only using a catalyst trying to get my 3rd star. But my 4th and 5th stars, the success rate on those are a lot more because I typically use potent catalyst, and you know, 5-star system is right here, right? So this is what I mean by 4th and 5th star, not necessarily on my boots. But knowing what I know now, I'd probably use catalyst here, potent catalyst here, and just power my way through. And I would bank on the value of my potent catalyst rather than the value of saving the gold using a 4-star amp, knowing what I know now. But if you're first time trying to get your weapon through, just know, and you don't have a lot of gold, just know that 4-star catalyst will save you quite a bit of gold. That's a fact. But those potent catalysts are definitely worth more than that. You know what I mean? 40 potent catalysts is a great, you can use those individually, and it would probably serve you better individually, but that's assuming that you have the gold to level this up and get that 4-star constantly. And to be honest, not a lot of people have that many gold, so it's a battle of perspectives. You know what I mean? If you're not somebody who has a lot of gold and you're just trying to up and coming, then yes, using those potent catalysts to get your 4-star will help you quite a bit. And I'm somebody who saw the value in that, and it helped me, right? But you know, I value my potent catalyst, so I probably wouldn't do it now. Sorry for the sneeze, y'all. I probably wouldn't do it now, especially for my boots. But if there was a 5-star catalyst, I swear I would buy it right now, because the weapon is a little bit different. You know what I mean? So it's just a battle of perspectives. But you have 2 different approaches that you could choose from. I'm talking to the common / new player. I'm not talking to all of you who are plus 21, plus 22, plus 23 with me, because you guys already know what to do. But you have 2 different strategies. You can either go raw dog the first 2. I urge you, catalyst the 3rd one, only if you do not have any gear. Only if you do not have any gear below 15. If you have gear below 15, do not use your catalyst. Raw dog the 3rd star as well. Okay? The best piece of advice that you can ever get. I'm telling you, you're going to need all of your catalysts, all of them, and then potent catalyst your 4-star, and potent catalyst your way on through. Okay? That is the way to go. And then there's 21, right? 21 was, I fell safe 5 on 21. Very, very, very frustrating. Okay. When you get to plus 20, the stars change from 4 to 5. And the amount of gold that it costs to get the plus 21 on average, or the expected, is roughly about 1.2 billion, right? And it's frustrating because that is, well, hold on. It's not frustrating. It's frustrating if you're trying to get it, right? Because it doesn't seem realistic. To be honest with you, it's not, okay? This is an enhancement video, so I'm gonna give you my recommendations on how to approach this, but I'm gonna also give you recommendations that are an alternative to this. Now, if you're trying to approach plus 21, I urge you, first 2 stars, raw dog. First of all, in order to even get here, you have to have all your gear to 15 and above, right? So because of that, I'm not even talking to those with gear below 15, right? To get to this point, you need 190 resonance, which means you need all your gear plus 15. If you're somebody who decided to enhance your seal, talisman, and such to plus 19 and 20 before you did your other pieces of gear, I'm assuming that you know what you're doing, so I'm not talking to you either. But anyways, raw dog your first 2, catalyst on number 3, potent catalyst on 4, 5, and to 22 or to 21. That is how you're going to enhance this one. Why? Because the value of your 4-star, even though you still got the 5th and the actual enhancement to go, the value of the 1st star is still very significant. Okay. The value of each star in this situation, so Your first star is valued at 17. Or whoa. Scratch that. Sorry about that. Oops. Boom. There we go. All right, the value of the first star is valued at 1.7 million gold, okay? The value of your second star is 8.7 million gold. The value of your third star is 43 million gold, okay? Yeah, definitely use a catalyst here. Because if you can save that, you're gonna want to, okay? And the value of that the fourth star, yeah, 218 million gold. I don't even have that. Definitely use a potent catalyst. Use whatever you can to get this to the highest percent possible. Because if you get this, you are grateful. And then of course, the value of this star is, 1.1 billion gold, right? Get this one if you can, because definitely potent catalyst here, because you're saving even more gold on this one. This one, you're saving about 1.1 billion. So potent catalyst these two, because you're saving an immense amount of gold if you get it. And then of course, potent catalyst your way through, because you're saving that ridiculous amount as well, a little bit over 4. And that's my approach to plus 21. Now, there is a plus 20, what is it? Plus 22. Once you reach plus 22, it's now 6 stars to get to plus 23. The reason why I am not going to talk about that is because I don't know about that. I am not plus 23. I do not like talking about stuff that I do not know, right? But just know plus 22 and above, you need 6 stars, right? So me, I still need 5 stars to get my highest piece of gear. And once I get this to plus 22, I say that, but it's gonna be a long time before I go for it. I'm gonna need to see, like, not only do I need a lot more gold, but I'm trying to buy insignias right now. Like, I want to buy Meridia and Famine, and I got stuff that I want to get. So I'm gonna be buying all that stuff before I even attempt to get my gear to 200 resonance, right? Which is what I need first in order to get my weapon to 200. So yeah, priorities are a little bit crazy right now, but definitely just know that 6 stars are above. I don't know about that. I just know about 21. This is a part where a lot of people want to reach, want to try to reach. So that's why I'm here to talk about it. What I would recommend, don't get this. Don't get this. This isn't something you want to go for, right? Now I'm talking to you light spenders / free-to-play players / yeah, I make content, okay? That means whatever money I make on this content and whatever money I make on Twitch and such, I get to put it right back into the character. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about content creators, is that we can do stuff that normal people have to spend, like, resources that they spend for other things. Like, if you're somebody who's limited, which most people are, let's keep it a buck, most people are limited. It's not a bad thing, but yeah, spending 1.1 billion gold on this, it's not realistic to the common player, right? But plus 20 is realistic to the common player. Getting plus 20, it's a lot of gold, of course, but you can get there. You know what I mean? Getting 4 stars and then getting lucky on the 18 to 19 and then 19 to 20 as well. Oh, it's doable. You get to using rare spare parts. A lot of people have got plus 20, and let me tell you something, the damage that you could do at plus 20 is crazy amounts. And there's some great, I call them pink weapon warriors. You know what I'm saying? I was a pink weapon warrior. I just got plus 21 not too long ago, right? I was sitting at plus 20, for the longest time. I got plus 20 for the content and because I wanted to be a yellow warrior. Those are the 2 reasons. If it wasn't for either one of those reasons, and to be honest with you, if it wasn't for the content, I wouldn't be plus 21 right now. What would be a better approach, a more efficient approach, and what would actually be better for your character is if you finish your insignias, okay? If you're somebody with pink insignias everywhere, but you're trying to get a plus 21 weapon, you're not approaching the game the right way. You know what I'm saying? You're missing so much more damage, just from having the wrong insignias in the slot. If you're somebody who's trying to get the plus 21, but your circuits aren't giving you the right stats, bro, focus on your circuits, okay? Get these exactly where they need to be, which means that you have to use gold to unlock a lot of these so that you can make sure you're getting the right circuits, okay? That's what you should be spending your gold on. Get all of your gear to plus 18, plus 19, plus 20. You gain a shit ton of value from increasing each piece of gear, you know, to the appropriate level. To like, if I get this plus, you know, from plus 17 to plus 20, then you're just gaining overall stats that are going to be greatly used in raids. I saw somebody who was plus 20 and had everything else plus 19, and that fool was strong. Very, 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 very strong. Insignias were looking good, and then he dealt more damage than me. This is after I had the plus 21 weapon. So there are a couple pink weapon warriors. I was one. I dealt a lot of damage at plus 20. I'll tell you what, at plus 20, I dealt way more damage than what I'm doing at plus 21. And hear me out. The amount of damage that plus 20s did and the amount of damage plus 21s do, people that are plus 21, they typically have more stuff. They did a lot more before they got to 21, and me, I kind of skipped levels to get to 21. Like the fact that I don't have 2 Azraels, and I said that because I literally just got Azrael, my second Azrael, because of the Abyssal Frontier event. But the fact that I only had one, the fact that I had a level 1 Claudius, the fact that I had you know, stuff here that wasn't supposed to be here that was holding my character back from dealing even greater damage. Yeah, I would have loved to have got that stuff done. I spent 1.1 billion gold, you know, trying to get to plus 21. Oh my God, if I had 1.1 billion gold, my character would be stacked, doing crazy damage, but I spent it on enhancing, which, hey, I'm a little bit stronger in raids, lightly. I'd be this much more stronger, right? Hold on. I'd be this much more stronger than the weapon if I had my insignias that I wanted. And, you know, if I had level 3 Azraels everywhere, if I had a level 3 Famine, oh, I'd be so much stronger because my damage to debuff would be way higher, which is something that your weapon can never give you, right? And then you can go for the weapon afterwards after you're stacking on crazy damage. So what I'm saying is that the value that you're using to spend for this yellow glow, just know what you're really looking for is a cosmetic difference. It's not really that big of a damage difference. Where it does do supreme is Abyssal Frontier and Mind Wars, because the stats that your stats are cut in Abyssal Frontier and Mind Wars, but for whatever reason, the stats that aren't cut the most are like magic attack and shred, and this thing gives you a shit ton of shred, and so they're just like, yep, plus 21s, plus 22s, plus 23s, go crazy. So there is that, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna act like that doesn't exist, but this is for clearing the game, damage doing content. Yeah, you can actually do a lot better to enhance everything to plus 17, 18, 19, and then you'll have an all-around super solid character, high magic attack, high intellect. You'll have higher crit. Your crit damage will be crazy. Your elemental will be crazy because all of your insignias are looking right. I would definitely consider going that route. If I wasn't doing content, that's a route that I would have done myself. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm able to put this together for you though. Like, I honestly felt like I couldn't talk about this stuff until I got to where I am now. If I didn't have this, then I couldn't bring you a video talking about my experience with plus 21 and what I gained, and, you know, alternative ways to go and things like that. I felt like I had to get this first to really bring you this perspective, but hopefully this serves as an ultimate guide for, you know, the beginning player, the intermediate player, players trying to come up, players looking at plus 21 and looking at the yellow glow like, oh my God, that's the best thing. Players that are, you know, trying to figure out new strategies for enhancing, players that are trying to, you know, get all their stuff to plus 15 but can't seem to just figure out how players that are, you know, for the general player out there, hopefully this video gives you all the perspective that you need to enhance your character to the highest as you want to go. Of course, if you have any questions, please leave comments. Let me know what you guys think. I said I was gonna make this short, and I lied. There was no way to shorten this. This is long. I'm looking at the time right now. I was like, wow, I've been talking for over an hour. Holy crap. But this is to bring you guys perspective. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video for what it was. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing, bro, I enhanced a piece of gear right. Hey, Glenn said, you're doing a video? Let me get in that video. Bling, bling. Fuck you, Glenn. Fuck you till it's backwards. We still all know you're a scummy piece of shit and that you're just trying to show off for the fans, but nobody likes you. But anyways, hopefully you guys like me. Hope you guys like the video. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But leave your comments. Anything that you feel like I missed, anything that you want to add, or any questions that you have. You know, I read all comments, so you know, please leave a comment. And yeah, next video is gonna be me talking about ABF, Abyssal Frontier. Especially since the Abyssal Frontier league just ended, everybody got the rewards. So now it's time to talk about it so that people get more excited about it on the next run. But anyways, I'm out of here. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night, day, whatever it is to you. Peace. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and subscribe. Head over to Twitch, follow Chovio6, where I do stream 3 or 4 times a week. See you there.